It took me way too long to get this figure. It also took me way too long to finally get around to reviewing it. But all in all, I finally have Planet X Neptune. Their version of Sludge. I love some Dinobots. Finally rounding out the original 5 Dinobots from Fall of Cybertron, we have Planet X Neptune, which is their version of Sludge. And Sludge was always pretty much my favorite Dinobot next to Slag, and well, this is a pretty cool version. Now, I will point out this is one of the newer releases. I picked this guy up from TF Source, and if you remember my posts about it, the first one I got, he had a screwed up knee armor. They did replace him with a brand new one that was actually in much better shape in a lot of aspects. So here you go with the box, and everything's dusty because it's been in my living room for a while. That's his chest, says Planet X, says Neptune right there. Come to the side, not anything. Come to the back, and you have an actual image of the character, which is strange because that's totally new to me. Every one of the ones that I've had has been their body, basically, on all sides. You come over here, you got ages 15 plus, hey, I'm right in the middle of that sticker for purposes of finding it in other things. It's all good, nothing on the bottom. And if we open it up, we have one of the more modern versions of their packaging with the foam insert, which is pretty cool. So figure went there, hammers went there, and swords went there. And his instructions are way over here. They were totally over by the figure, actually. So the instructions are good, but also not great. But because I had paddles already, I learned how to transform paddles, and this guy transforms almost identically. Like, the main parts of how this guy transforms is the same as paddles. They share the mold, basically. So here's his character card, same exact artwork. You got strength, intelligence, speed, endurance, rank, courage, fire blast, tiny skill. It's funny that they still couldn't fix that. Even on a modern reprinting of this. Like, that is the thing, that this is a reprint of this figure. So, that's that, and, well. Now, unfortunately, this guy did cost his normal price, which is 100 plus some odd dollars. I think I got him for 100 and change. But if you needed to complete your Dinobot set, you had to have this one. And, well, he kind of sold out more than anybody. And now Grimlock is also sold out. But they've got metallic versions coming next, because people wanted that. Planet X doesn't necessarily listen to their fans. Because the next one up is Kalis, or Swoop, in metallic paints. And even though I don't know anybody who actually bought Grimlock in metallic, I'm going off on a tangent. So let's go ahead and get big old Brontosaurus butt out here and check him out. All right, so here we go with Planet X Neptune. And it looks pretty cool. And it is, of course, the Fall of Cybertron version of Sludge. Now, I have wanted this guy for quite some time, but he's actually one of the harder ones to get. So when they said that they were going to be re-releasing it in a limited print only, I had to get it. And the fact that you guys saw the video where I showed off the first time I got him, they had a piece that was screwed up. It was actually one of these parts right here. So when I said that he wouldn't transform quite right if I didn't have it, that was true. Also, that one had some pretty bad paint hiccups on it. So that was probably a Friday or a Smoke Break Tuesday kind of figure. But as it goes, this is a very cool version of Sludge. You do have the pink Cybertronian or Energon look stuff going on all over him, all over the dino legs, all up here. You got these vents up here looking pretty cool. You got the kind of goldish plastic there for the toesies, and then his other toesies, and then the head, and then you have more plastic there, along with some light piping for the eyes. Look at the pretty blue plastic coming through. And then right there on the noggin where he would have an Autobot logo, but unfortunately, by the time I got to this guy, I ran out of spare ones from repro labels. Now they do, I believe they have a sticker set for him. I need to double check. I think they do. And I really want to do up all my Dinobots. So far, it's only been a couple of them. So I want to get all of them. But you do have some more paint up here. Looking pretty good. You've got red plastic back here. And then way back here at the tip of the tail, some silver plastic. You know, basically, it's par for the course with the Dinobots from this line. And he's a big, beefy bruiser. The legs do move. This is just a swivel here. And then a rotation joint there. And then it does move there with a knee joint there. It's weird because I'm used to vehicles, not dinos or animals. So it's funny to actually think about articulation here. And of course, because these are going to be the robot mode arms, you do get legs that ratchet really heavily, and of course rotation joints. And if for some reason you need to, you can get even the toe pivot, just kind of get them in a stepping motion. That's actually not bad, if I'm honest, though the gaps between the ratchet teeth are huge. So there's that. Also, these move forward just enough as well. That's something they definitely didn't have to include. The neck does move about that much. The head does tilt up and down and does open up to reveal some super sharp teeth right up in there. And, you know, because Planet X doesn't really have to conform to a lot of regulations that, say, Hasbro does. Yeah, super sharp stuff. I do wish the tail could move, but given that it is Sludge, generally that doesn't happen. Now, the only version of Sludge that I do have is the really crappy one from Power of the Primes, and I'm not going to get that out because, frankly, it's not even close. So we're only going to compare him to the Dinobots we've gotten so far, so I'm going to have to move him back pretty far and probably tilt this because we got some big dinos to work with here. So let's go with, I think, one of the last ones we looked at there with Snarl. Hold on, I gotta readjust focus. Slag, who still doesn't stand right because his dino feet suck. Swoop. And last and certainly not least, him, Grimlock, leader. So there we have, I gotta zoom out just a little bit, and hopefully the things that are sitting on the side here don't reveal themselves, but they probably will. I tried to set the tripod on my foot. So there we have the 5 original Dinobots and the 5 Dinobots that were in the game, actually. All out here for the first time ever in my collection. And that's pretty awesome. This is a cool set, guys. Definitely get it. Now, before I go too much further, I'm going to obviously state there's a metallic version of Grimlock and a metallic version of Swoop. And they might do metallic versions of everybody else. I'm not bothering. These are good enough for me. If for some reason I feel the need to take it a step further, I will and maybe paint them. But I don't feel like buying the same figure again for a different finish. And I just noticed that his wings, or his wing claws, were not up. Oh, I didn't have his wings transformed properly. There we go. Now he's actually properly in Swoop Dino mode. Of course, now he doesn't want to balance properly. Swoop does have some of the more wonky bits in Dino mode, but that's okay because we've got this awesome dude to look at. And just for reference, there's Wally. So you can see how big he is. Let me get all these dinos out of the way. By the way, I still love Grimlock. So now that I've got him back over here, I did want to show off kind of what the other Dinobots have. You do have weapons that he comes with. So you have his, whatever kind of guns these are. Look like shotguns to some degree. Most of the weapons look like shotguns. And just like all the other dinos, you can plug them in to the back legs or any place that has a port, and you can arm up his dino mode. Not necessarily a thing that's shown. Now, if for some reason you want to be a little funny, you can take his other weapons, plug them on there, Walks around with big blunk, blunk, blunk hammers. It's not really what it's supposed to do. And these do come apart fairly easily, but it is what it is. Now let's take a quick break. And we'll come back for his, honestly, kind of complex transformation. So, be right back. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and try to get this guy transformed up. Okay. Even though this is the newest one I have, it's still not that easy to transform, if I'm honest. So one thing you want to do is come down here to the bottom. You got the chest plate here. I'm going to raise the camera up a little bit so I can, just preemptively so I can work here. Do what I can to keep things on screen. So you want to just pull that out and just lightly pegged onto this peg, goes into there. And that's just going to be the chest plate. We're going to go ahead and rotate that and just set it over here out of the way. It's honestly really not going to come into play again. So then you're going to come up here and split this open and just kind of get all that up and out of the way. So that's just going to be where all of that ends up. And this is where we get into some pointy bits. So you want to just unplug what are going to be the feet from these pegs here. And you're going to want to just sort of swing them out of the way. Now there's a tab that goes in between here. Just right there. That tab lines up there. There is a thing in here, and I'll explain it in a minute, that really does become a problem when going back to Dino mode. Okay, so we're just basically going to straighten the legs out as best we can. Flip those down and making sure everybody is squared up. Okay, so come back here, just kind of get that out of the way. Can close these. They're just fillers more or less. There's your toes, just kind of have them out. The feet just kind of swivel in. This is a thing that basically all these Dinobots do, and you can do one of two things here. These don't really tab into anything securely, so if you really want a good heel spur, just leave them back like that. And the instructions kind of want you to fill in the whole leg, so if you want to, you can just do that, but then you've got nothing at all supporting the heels. So if you want to, you can just turn the actual dino foot backwards and just sort of fill out the bot mode heels. No big deal. And one thing you do, you want to make sure these legs are about as straight as you can get them. The double ratcheting knees are kind of annoying, if I'm honest. Okay, so now we want to come back up here. This just flips out of the way. You don't really do anything with the dino head. It's just going to come up here and fill this cavity. You can straighten out the arms. Just tilt those. See, once again, the legs are not 100% lined up. Okay. Good enough. Now it just looks like he has a tail hanging out there. Okay, so come up here. Split the tail. They'll just peg in together like so. And you can flip that around there. Flip that down like so. And then you've got that. You can do the same thing on that side. Just sort of get that out of the way. There's your actual dino head. Now this is the part that the instructions tell you here. You're going to pull the chest parts apart. And you can see right inside there, kind of hard to get the light in there. This right here, you can see these two slots. That you just want to pull up and tab in. It's a pretty stiff tab, and when he's brand new out of the box, he's really not going to want to do that. But it's a very important part of the transformation. Now, whoops, what am I doing? So you want to take the dino head and just kind of tuck it up in here. Sorry, I forgot to rotate it. You got to rotate it at the neck, then tuck it away so it's back there behind the bot head, and you can leave these tail bits here, or you can, if you want to clean it up just a little bit, just flip it inward like that, and it gives them a little bit cleaner of a profile. Once again, these ratchets and the legs are just a mess to figure out. And then the hands. Oh, yeah. I forgot how the hands go. Now I remember. So unlike all of the other Dinobots where they have a flip-out gimmick, these hands slide out. And you gotta flip the fingers open and then pull it out until it reaches its maximum spot. Now, one of these was so tight, it may still cause a problem. One of these was so tight I could not pull it out. I did actually end up loosening the screws here. Well, actually, I think it was just that one. I don't remember which side it was. I think it was, I nearly said driver's side, the left side. But there we go. There is Sludge in bot mode. Now you can just lightly pull the ratchets out and get him in a nice little A stance. And here we go. There's our big old bruiser of a Dinobot. And like I said, these knees, man. So if you get the hips straight up and down and you can just sort of rotate it. And there we go. Wow. I mean, he is a big boy. And, you know, Sludge always was. Now, this is a little bit different for how Sludge usually goes because he's usually got wings coming off the back that are usually the side. You know, that's his general G1 type of design. And like I said, you can leave these out. I think the instructions actually tell you to do that. I just like it to look a little bit cleaner. So just kind of collapse all that backpack together. And if you want to, you can have the Dino mode head hanging out the back like a tail. It's up to you. And then you have this crotch piece there that just there. It is what it is. But he's, like I said, he's a big old boy. Now we can bring out Wally for comparison. So you can see how big he gets. And there he is with his guns. But I don't want him to have his guns. I want him to have his hammers. Because he just looks cooler with them. Sorry, I should have said that first. So there's his accessories real quick. And let's bring in all of the Dinobots. This is not going to be easy because I don't have a whole lot of room. And these guys get big. Now, they don't take up so much floor space anymore, but, you know. So there's Lord Swoopington. He's looking off to one side. I need to tighten up his head again. Here is Slag, who I had to remember how to transform because it's been a while since I put them in bot mode. They've been in dino mode for quite some time. Camera's focusing on Swoop. Here's Snarl, who broke on me again, so this will be the last time he transforms to bot mode. He will be in dino mode forever because this hinge broke on me again. So I just glued it. Hopefully I can get it back out without being a problem. But you can see right there how big he is compared to those guys. And then, of course, with Big Daddy Grimlock way back there. Kind of hard to get him in to the place with that giant shield. I guess I can turn the shield forward, make life a little easier. So Grimlock is still the tallest, but he's very, very bulky. So there's all of my Dinobots. With the exception of Paddles, of course, because Paddles will be coming next. Make sure you stick around for that review. But that's all of the official ones, so to speak, from the game. And, of course, the original 5 Dinobots themselves. And Sludge definitely still has the hardest time. Not Sludge, Snarl. Sorry, Sludge is the one I'm currently looking at. This one, I think, is still one of the most poorly designed in bot mode. He's probably the most poorly designed in alt mode. But this guy is pretty solid in both, with the exception of those double-jointed ratcheting knees, which actually are almost, if I remember correctly, yeah, his legs and his are identical to his, the way they function. The same double-jointed knees, the same rotating thighs and all that. It's all the same. Not mold-wise, but the way they function and the way they have to bend over each other. It's a huge, huge pain. And as we'll cover in the next review, not the only time they do it again. But there we go. That's all of them out there. And then once again, we'll just bring out Wally to play with his dino buddies. Wally, stand up. Whatever, flip up. There we go. And I guess we can drop down so you can really see a height comparison. Of course, you got forced perspective there. So, I mean, they look really, really good all together. And, you know, these all look really good in bot mode. So I'm actually having a hard time. I might... Maybe I'll leave them all in bot mode for a while, except for Swoop. I'll put Swoop back into alt mode because he can mount on Grimlock like we've seen before. Because they do look good in bot mode. And I don't want to have to buy them all over again just to have like alt mode and bot mode together. Because some of them look good. Swoop, he's okay. He's the only one who really stands out as being very, very different. But I like him. I like these guys. And I'm not going to really go over articulation. It is what it is. Swiveling shoulders, all that kind of good stuff. Actually, his arms can move up and down. I forgot about that. The shoulders move up and down. Paint is actually very good on him. Silver painted face and all this stuff like that. But it is chipping. That is one big problem. He's chipped a lot. He's just having some issues. The breakage issues on him. So Planet X still has some QC problems, but considering this was a brand new remold of an old thing, it's actually a fairly tight thing. I would love to be able to split these hammers apart and actually put LEDs in them, but I can't find a good way to do it without breaking them. And I do hope that I can get a repro label set for him, because I think he would look very, very good. Because now that I think about it, I have everybody except for Grimlock, at least not all of them. Eddie, who I got him from, put on just the Lightning Coalition stickers. But I've got everybody else, so I would like to get him as well. Like I said, I could show off the articulation, but you basically saw all of it as I was transforming it. So it is what it is. But this review's gone on quite long enough. We still got one more dino to get through. Paddles. So guys, come back for that review. And if you like this one, give me a big old dino-shaped thumb up. Hit that subscribe-ish button if you haven't. And check out the Shoky shirts and the Patreon. If you check out the Patreon, those guys are getting stuff early, like this review, other things. They're getting unboxings. They're getting fresh out of the box reviews for things whenever I get them in brand new, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, by all means, go check out the Patroneer. Or go check out being a Patroneer and help support the channel, because I need every little bit I can get right now. So guys, I'll catch you on the next one, and remember, as always, keep on nerding.